Hello, Marcus Boston. In today's video, we are going to discuss what is HIE, but from the standpoint of a medical legal issue. Now, before I go into the video, I want to help you understand or define HIE, or hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. In our context, HIE, or hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, is when there is a reduction in blood and oxygen, which can lead to a baby suffering a traumatic brain injury. I'll say that again so you can have the definition. It is a reduction in blood and oxygen that can lead a baby to suffer a brain injury. And this is, in our context, like I said, this is going to be in regards to labor and delivery. Now, for the aspect of from a medical legal standpoint, there's a lot of things that comprise medical legal. And so what we're essentially is asking is, if you're looking to move forward on a birth injury or a medical malpractice case, what are some of the things that we are looking for to help a family be successful in these types of cases? And the first thing, first and foremost, is that we have to do an investigation into what happened. We've got to do a history with mom. We've got to understand, how was her pregnancy? Was it uneventful, or were there, issues of gestational diabetes, or were there other issues that were present? And so for the first part of this, we have to do an investigation as to what was going on, because to be successful in these types of cases, they are really negligence cases. And negligence cases break down in four basic elements, and that is duty, breach of duty, causation, and damages. And so from the medical malpractice standpoint, or the birth trauma standpoint, we have to go a little bit further, and we have to deal with whether there was a departure from the standard of care owed to mom and to the baby, which then caused the injury. And the injury is going to be the harm that has been done. And so when we are investigating these cases from a medical legal standpoint, what we're looking to see is what was going on during labor and delivery. Were there problems during labor and delivery which would have given a reasonable and prudent doctor or nurse or medical professional would have given them notice that things were not going right during labor and delivery, and that interventions needed to take place? And so to be able to do this, we are looking at a host of information, and some of that information will be the readings from the electronic fetal heart monitor. We want to know what was happening, because the electronic fetal heart monitor can help in real time allow us to be able to see what was going on. Was your baby tolerating a vaginal delivery and well? And so what we're looking to see is the patterns on the electronic fetal heart monitor. So, for example, were there deceleration patterns? Were there acceleration patterns? What about variability? What about the mom's contraction pattern? Was she dealing with a condition called tachycystole? So all of these types of things and more help us to be able to understand from that medical legal standpoint what was happening during labor and delivery. And so once we're looking and once we're reviewing all this information, we speak with medical experts, people who are experts in these fields, and they allow us to be able to speak with them and understand issues of standard of care. What was the standard of care? And if there was problems with the standard of care, was there a departure from that standard of care which caused the injury or the harm? And so these medical experts are able to help us get to that step. And so I know that I talked about a lot in this video, and I just want to take the time to kind of put all of this together from that medical legal aspect of things to help you understand standard of care, whether there was a departure from the standard of care causing the harm that was done to your baby. It's not enough just for parents to have a result that they may not have expected. That's not enough in these types of cases from a medical legal aspect. We have to be able to prove those elements that I talked about earlier, those four elements: duty, breach, causation, damages, whether there was a departure from the standard of care causing the injury or the harm. All of these things are very important when we are discussing trying to figure out whether your baby's traumatic brain injury at birth, whether that was due to a departure in the standard of care causing the harm or the injury. If you have more questions, maybe you are here today watching this video and taking notes or doing your homework on this because your baby has suffered the traumatic brain injury, HIE, hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Or maybe you have not only an HIE diagnosis, but maybe there has been a subsequent CP or cerebral palsy diagnosis and you have questions. You want to know, what was the cause of this? Was it something that the doctors or the nurses or the hospital, something that they are responsible for? And if they are responsible for the harm that was done to your child, it's only fair that they are required to make things right for your family from a financial standpoint. So maybe it was something with the hospital, or was it something genetic, or some other type of issue that may have presented itself, developmental. If you have these types of things going on, what I invite you to do is to go ahead and pick up the phone and call me. Call us. There's a telephone number down below on the screen. I speak with families like yours all the time about these issues. What I invite you to do is, when you call my secretary, call the office, just let them know that you would like to get on our calendar to have an information session to talk with you about your baby story. And remember, it costs you absolutely nothing to speak with us. One more thing before I get out of here. I practice law in the state of Maryland. And I know this video is on the internet, it's online, it's on social media sites, and sometimes we will have individuals who will contact us and they're not in Maryland, including people who are in Maryland, but sometimes we have people who are not in Maryland. If you are not in Maryland and you call us, understand that if this is something that we think we can assist you with, that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state. And that's something that we can help work with you on. But I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or that local counsel aspect of things if you are not here in the state of Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. And we'll talk with you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.